Hello, Maynard.
Hey, Pauline, how are you?
I am so good. I'm even better now because I get to hang out with you and you who is watching.
It's always a pleasure. It's a pleasure whenever we can just share with individuals and share the greatness that we all have in us. And that's the name of our organization. It's Born with Greatness, guys. Sometimes we go by BWG, and I am Maynard Neal.
And I'm Pauline Victoria. We are super excited to be here with you all today because we love what we do. And what we do is we help bring out people's brilliance. And we named our organization Born with Greatness because we want to remind you that you were born with greatness. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work for it. You don't deserve it. It is because you are. And sometimes in life, we forget because of different things that happen. And so we want to be the agent that comes in, holds up the mirror, and reminds you how magnificent you truly are. And we hope we do that through what we do as a course creation agency. And we do that when we show up like we are right now with you.
Yes. And, something even more that has really happened with us in our process with being born with greatness. We get an opportunity to see individuals like you and like us realize the power that you have, the importance and the purpose that you were put onto this planet and what you have to leave. Probably, as you know, I always have a saying that says, we all have to leave our footprints. Now, will yours be in sand or within cement? So the thing is, what is that legacy? We want to leave a legacy because we have something. We have something to impress upon individuals with. And that's the reason we're here. We want to talk to you today about the greatness that's in you and how you can pull that out and affect individuals around the world. So, to no further ado, grab a pen, grab a paper. It's going to be short, it's going to be sweet, but we're going to go over certain tidbits and speak to you about this and help you understand for some of us that don't realize that greatness, that everything that we see is not on the outside of us, it's already inside. And when we can align with that, magic happens.
Amen. Yes. So, how do we start recognizing our greatness? And I think the very first step is to discover and acknowledge the unique gifts and talents that you were born with. Here's the thing, you were born with greatness. There is no arguing or denying that. We're here to remind you about that. How that greatness is expressed is different for each person. It's expressed through the unique gifts and talents that we were bestowed upon. I go back to my childhood and we were born with specific gifts and talents. And again, life happens. We're told to not be a certain way. We're told to dial it down. We're told to only speak when we're spoken to. And so we forget that that talent that what we were born with and we forget about it. But
So,
how that talent and gift comes out, it's different for everybody. Some may be good at creating art, some may be good at creating music, some might be good at listening. Not all gifts and talents are outwardly expressed, right? In terms of what we can see and what's tangible. I know for me, being a person who's mindful of having self awareness, understanding and really discovering my unique gift and talent required self reflection. And that required for me to go inside. And that this first part that I want to talk to you about in discovering your gift and talent is really getting quiet, taking some time to observe yourself and observe yourself from a place of non judgment, right? Because when we come at it with judgment, we bring all our stories and our trash and our comparisons, and none of that does us good. So, really, I want to encourage you on your journey to discover your unique gift and talent. Really take some time to reflect and identify what brings you joy. What do you do that makes you lose track of your time? And again, sometimes it's not the creating part. It's not like, oh, I'm really good at this art, or I'm really good at ceramics, or I'm really good at music. For me, it was I'm really good at listening and holding space for people. So sometimes our unique talents and gifts are a little bit more quiet, but they're there and they're there for a purpose.
Yes. Yes.
So please take some time, observe yourself, and just identify, where do you shine?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Pauline, because I want to relate it into when you do self reflection. We oftentimes, like me, I was finding myself before I really connected with some people call it your inner child or your subconscious. But if you separate in your mind's eye, stating that I am me, I am looking at the world as the thing outside of me, listening to all of these different things. You mentioned about comparison and the thing that we are all brilliantly and uniquely made, specifically the way that we are. Our fingerprints are totally different. There's not another one on the planet that's like that. And when you can become authentically who you are and really delve into that, and when you look for the answers of not out there, but look within and just be quiet enough to connect with your inner self, where all the answers are. We want you to do a self reflection and start asking yourself questions that in this busy world, sometimes we don't ask. We don't think about, as you had just mentioned, Pauline, what makes me lose track of time? What skills come naturally to me? Truly self reflect. Look upon your strengths and your passions. We want to focus on what we want. And sometimes people say, I forgot. It's been so long that I've been, and I take my hat off being a single dad to the moms out here because you guys put so much into everyone else, into your children, into your family. And sometimes we tend to lose who we are, lose what we like. Sometimes people just don't know anymore, and that's okay. So, number two thing we're going to talk about is just try new things. This world is abundant. It feeds upon itself. It gives everything that's needed in order to survive. And sometimes we get caught into that comfort zone or that rut or that habitual thing that we do, finding a new hobby or sports. Some people love the arts, even volunteering. For me, I had no idea. And when I started volunteering, just the level of satisfaction and then also the recognition of counting my blessings by trying new things, saying that I can and building upon that muscle. I mean, it's just, there's so many different things that a person can think about. And when you start experiencing those things, you start uncovering and discovering hidden talents that you didn't know that you had. And some people will say that maybe we forgot that we have because they say there's a dash. We have our birth date and then our expiration date. And the dash is the most important thing. So truly, what are we pouring into our lives? And Pauline, we said something earlier about life and living. Are you making a living or are you making a life with what you have?
When I think about trying new things, you know, I'm gonna tell a funny story. I just got off a call with somebody and I was talking with him for like 20 minutes. And then I said, well, yeah, a lot of my perspectives come with as a woman being born without arms and legs. And he's like, I didn't even notice. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, in case you didn't notice, that is where a lot of my life experience and perspectives come in. It's different, it's unique, but I'm not saying this to encourage any self-pity or anything like that. Okay. This is all positive stuff. But I wanted to relate this to when you said try new things, because I think a lot of times we make judgments about trying new things. So one of the new things that I have recently tried, obviously with hands, art would be really challenging. But I do have a creative side in me. Like I could feel it in me and I want to create something beautiful. And so I tried this new thing called pour art. And I have amazing people around me. That's really important, right? To have people around you that are going to cheer you on and encourage you to try new things. But I had these people around me. What pour art is you pour whatever like different colored paints that you want into one cup. And then you take that cup and you flip it upside down onto a canvas. And then you take the canvas and you just move it around and tip it and put it different angles and it moves the paint around and it creates this beautiful design. Well, all of that would be really hard, but I found amazing people around me to help support that idea of me just trying it out. And they created and adapted things and we worked with it. And it was just this beautiful arrangement of people coming together to help me try something new. So I know what it's like to think about, I'd really like to try that out, but I'm not really sure if I'd be good at it or even if I could or how would I? Don't let that stop you. If you get an urge or you see something, you're like, I'd really like to try that out, do it. And the rest of it will get figured out. The how will get figured out. Just do it and don't count yourself out. And, I mentioned how for me, trying new things out really required a group of people. Those people that are around you are a great resource for you to help discover what you're good at, what your unique gifts and talents are. So I'm going to give you a couple exercises that you can start implementing today in order to help on the discovery of your unique gift and talent. So my first exercise is choose 5 people that know you well and ask them, who are you as their go-to person? Are you the person they go to for great recipes? Are you the person that they go to listen and seek advice? Are you the go-to person for them to have fun and just like be silly? Because that's a talent and that's a gift to like bring fun to the world. So ask 5 people who know you well. What do they come to you for? What do they look to you for? What do they admire you for? And so that's the first exercise. The second exercise I want you to do, it's a little different. Okay. I want you to write down 3 people's names, dead or alive, 3 people that you admire. And with each of those people, I want you to write 3 to 5 qualities that you admire about them. What draws you to them? And whatever qualities those are probably qualities that you too also have. And that will be a good reflection because we like what we are, right? We attract who we are. So when we identify qualities that we admire in others, those are qualities you probably already possess. So those are a couple things that you can try.
Those are really good things. And guys, what we're really saying in talking about these different points is for you to realize that, and Pauline, I want to just talk for a moment because it's just born with greatness. And we are a course creation agency. And what we're doing right now is what we do with a lot of our clients that we've been through different phases of creating their online content. And they were just amazed because these are things that is naturally in you, naturally a part of who you are, because the things that you see are manifested by the way that you think. They're manifested because you have a piece of that in you. And if it's something that's not positive, you can change that. But we're talking about the positive pieces now for you to be able to identify that footprint that you can leave as a legacy with the world, the hearts that you can touch, the lives that you can change, the lives that you can save. With today's technology, it is so powerful because 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can have an influence on some little boy or some little girl or some little boy inside of an adult or some little girl inside of an adult that's going through some challenging situations at 2 o'clock in the morning and they come across your material that could change their life. It's for you to discover things about yourself that you're good at to uncover even more things that's inside of you. Reach out to the family and friends and mentors and ask their perspective of your strengths and your unique qualities because sometimes we are the hardest critic to ourselves. I've seen several times people downplay, and I say, be bold, be who you are, allow that thing to come out, not with arrogance, but with confidence, and be open to that feedback. And what you're doing is you're putting in more positiveness into you so you can think about that more, that radiates and open up doors within you. Because keep in mind, whatever's in you, whatever you're thinking about, you're going to start seeing more of that on the outside. I went through that myself because I took time in my life where I felt at times that I didn't belong, that I really didn't matter. So I wouldn't speak up. I most definitely wouldn't show up like this. But then I realized that I do matter, that I'm unique, and that I was put onto this planet for a reason and a purpose and for a time. And I better get busy with uncovering what that is and being about my business to make sure that I can touch lives, to make sure that I can change lives, so that I can make sure that I can be an example for individuals that are incarcerated. I can go on for days with regards to that. But what about you? What is your importance? What is your purpose? And these are ways to uncover that if you don't know, because you have something to share. And that's what Born with Greatness was created for, is to help allow you to share something in such an exquisite way without removing the personalness of who you are in your material and delivering that in an effective way to change lives.
So beautiful. So, so beautiful. As we close this episode, and we're going to be coming back to you with a couple more episodes about this topic of what stops us from stepping into our unique gifts and talents, and then how do we express it. But I want you to really get, as we close this off, is for you to understand why this is so important. This is important for you to discover and acknowledge the gifts that you and talents that you were given that is unique to you is so very important because it adds to the world, because you were here, you were created for a purpose, and it wasn't just for you. When we create art, music, when we hold space for somebody else, when we can advise someone else to the best of our ability, we are adding more beauty, more love, more joy to another human being. And that's why it matters. This is why you want to pay attention. Pay attention to what we're saying, but more importantly, pay attention to yourself. Pay attention and stay curious about who you are and what it is that you're created for, that only you can fulfill. I remember when I started out on this entrepreneurial journey and the speaking journey, and hearing somebody talk about how we're all parts of this puzzle that make up humanity. And when your piece is missing, we all feel it. And we want you to know that. And we want you to really hear the gravity, the magnitude of the importance of who you are. So stay tuned for a couple more episodes coming up as we talk and unfold more about how do you unleash your brilliance through your unique gifts and talents. Born with Greatness as a course creation agency is here to support you in that. And as we come into the future episodes, how do you express it and make it a part of the world so your piece shines as part of the puzzle?
Yes. Guys, we want to thank you so much for just watching this episode. We have more to come. And each time we're going to talk about a different facet of that brilliance and greatness within you.